ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming to our debate today, and let us welcome our first speaker, the Prime Minister Eddie, with a speech not to exceed 3 minutes. Let's give him a round of applause. And please watch, Jared F. will be your timekeeper here. He knows the time signals. Please, Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready with 3 minutes on the clock?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hello everyone, I'm Eddie, and I'm the Prime Minister. And thanks to my partner Caroline, and the opposite side, and the judge, timekeeper, and the audience for being here. And so today's debate is about students should or should not have received time detention for tardiness. And as a government, students should receive punishment for being tardy. So the first point of our side is it can teach students to be more responsible for their time management and more disciplined. And because every time you receive punishment, you won't get it again, like for next time. So teach you how to be responsible for your time management, and also our second point is teacher will not be interrupted during classes, because it's kind of disrespectful if you interrupt the teachers every time when students come in, and so it's not for the overall classes. And the third point is it will influence other students studying. So you cannot continuously study, focus on everything that teacher said, because every student come in and will interrupt these classes. So again, our first point is to be more responsible for students, and second, teachers won't be interrupted during classes, and the third point is good for other students for keep studying. And thanks again to my partner Caroline, and the opposite side, the audience, timekeeper, and the judges, and work for government.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Eddie a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
1:58.
1:58. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Timekeeper, will you please put 1 minute on the clock for Jonathan to formulate his arguments? If you are switching pens, ladies and gentlemen, now's the time.
What time?
1:58. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Timekeeper. All right, did you have a duck quacking?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and give a round of applause to our second speaker, Jonathan's first speaker as the opposition, with a speech not to exceed more than 3 minutes. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Landry. I'm the leader of the opposition. First of all, I'd like to thank my partner, Katie, and I'd like to thank the opposition for debating us. I would also like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeeper for coming to view our speech. The topic we're discussing today is, should we or should we not deal out punishments for students who are tardy? And our stance is that they should not be punished. The government's first point was that giving out punishments for tardies would allow students to be more responsible with their time and give them better discipline overall. Our argument to this is that students it may not be their fault if they're late. Maybe they have some sort of family issues or distance problems where they can't come to school on time, and punishing them for that might not be the best idea. The government's second point was that teachers won't be interrupted during classes, and our argument is that the punishment may not work for all the students, and assuming that it's not their fault that they came to school late, they will continue to come late regardless of punishment and continue to interrupt classes. Their third point was that students cannot focus when other students keep coming into the classroom. This may cause interruption for some students, but it also may not, and it might only be a mild interruption and completely negligible and may not be worthy of a punishment. Also, again, if it's not the student's fault that they came late, then they'll keep coming late regardless of punishment. So our 3 points were, it may not be the student's fault if they're late, assuming that the punishment works, which it may not, students will continue to interrupt classes, and our third point was that not all students might be interrupted by tardy students, and regardless of punishment, tardy students may continue to be tardy. I'd like to thank my partner for being here. I'd like to thank the opposition for debating us. I'd like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeeper for listening to our debate, and vote for opposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And time, please, timekeeper. 2:54. Thank you very much. Mr. Timekeeper, will you please put 1 minute on the clock for Caroline to prepare her arguments, please? You may switch pens, maybe, folks, if you are in that need to do so.
Caroline is the...
Caroline is the MG. Yes, ma'am, sir. Okay, shh. Quiet down, please, audience.
Time.
Okay, that's time. Thank you very much, Mr. Timekeeper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and give our third speaker a round of applause, please, and welcome her to the stage. We remind the timekeeper and both Madam Speaker that the time for the speech should not exceed 3 minutes. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Speaker, whenever you're ready.
All right, just a second.
You're fine. You're fine. Take your time. You go ahead and get organized, and when you feel ready, you may go.
Okay. Good.
You're fine.
Hi, I'm Caroline Hagan. I am the member of government today. Before I begin, I would like to thank my partner Eddie, and thank you to the opposition for debating us today, and thank you to the audience, the judges, and the timekeeper for listening to our debate. Our topic today is whether students should or should not receive a detention for tardiness, and we believe that they should receive detention for tardiness. The opposition's first point was that students may be late for a problem which they cannot control, which unfortunately we cannot punish students who are late by their own fault and students who aren't late. And eventually when students are in the workforce, the workforce may not be so understanding that this was a problem that they cannot control. So this is preparing them for their future. And the opposition's second point was that punishment may not work for some students. However, some students need discipline, and the threat of punishment may help reduce the problem. So discipline for them could be good. The opposition's third point was that students may not be interrupted and even if they are interrupted, it may not be worthy of punishment if it wasn't their fault that they were late. However, some students have a difficulty concentrating, and it may not be fair to them to be interrupted because someone else just woke up late. And so, to review, our first point was that we cannot punish some students and not others, so even if it is not their fault, it is preparing them for the future and hopefully helping them to be on time. Our second point was that students need discipline and that the threat of punishment can help reduce the problem. Our third point was that some students have a difficulty concentrating and it is unfair for them to be disrupted in class. I would like to thank my partner, the opposition, the audience, the judges, and the timekeeper for being here today. And vote for government.
All right, thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Ms. Speaker. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:08.
2:08. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Timekeeper, will you please put 1 minute on the clock for Katie to prepare her arguments? Thank you. And if you want, switch pens. Oh, shoot.
Stop.
Okay, thank you. We welcome, please, with a round of applause, our fourth speaker to the debate, Katie, with a round of applause, please. And we remind this speaker and the timekeeper that this is the final speech, which should last 3 minutes in length. Only 3 minutes in length, please. All right. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Rinkup. I am the member of opposition. I would like to thank my partner, Jonathan Landry. I would like to thank government for being here today. And I would like to thank the judges, audience, and timekeeper for listening to our debate. The first point was that the workforce may not be so understanding. We have decided that people could also call ahead of time and say that they are late because of traffic or because they accidentally overslept. The second point that the government brought up was discipline is good to learn a lesson, but there could also be a different way to discipline the students by, except for like giving them detention to learn their lesson. And the third point that they brought up was that some of the students may have difficulty concentrating, and it is not fair to those students because the other students woke up late or something. And we have said that there could also be a different punishment, or that they could also work on trying to concentrate better, like watching the teachers very closely, or like watching the board very closely, or taking notes better. To review, we have said that the students could call ahead because of traffic or that they woke up late, that even though discipline is a good lesson, working on an individual basis to help students could also help them, and that there could also be a different discipline, and that even though concentrating may be hard for some students, they could try and work on concentrating better, like watching the teacher closer. I would like to thank my partner, I would like to thank government for debating with us. I would like to thank the judges, audience, and timekeeper for listening to our debate and vote for opposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:39.
2:39. Thank you very much. Now, please remember, Jonathan, we are coming back to you for this next speech. Okay, back to you. Timekeeper, will you please put 1 minute on the clock? Thank you very much.
Done.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome for the final speech of the opposition, Jonathan, back to the stage. Let's give him a round of applause, please. And this time, speaker and timekeeper, remember this is a speech that only lasts 2 minutes in length. Timekeeper, you're right with that? 2 minutes, okay? All right. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Landry. I am the leader of the opposition. I'd like to thank, first of all, my partner, Katie Rakup, and the opposition for debating us. I'd also like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeeper for coming to listen to our debate. Our topic today is, should we or should we not have punishment for those who are tardy? And the opposition's point was that we should be more responsible with time and better disciplined if we have detentions given out for tardies. And that the workforce may not be so understanding. And our argument is that they could call into work in the future and say that they will be late and avoid those kind of punishments. And the issues that might plague them now might not plague them in the future, so that wouldn't be a necessity. Their second point was that teachers will be interrupted in classes. And we said that students who are tardy because of issues outside of school will continue to be tardy, and that we should work with the students on an individual basis to help them overcome the issues which cause them to be tardy, rather than give them detentions so that the problems can be fixed in the future rather than immediately. The third point was that students cannot focus while other students keep coming, and we said that students should work on being, or I'd like to thank my partner for being here. I'd like to thank the opposition for coming and debating us. I'd like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeeper for listening to our debate and vote for opposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. And we'll put that one right at 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes. All right, Mr. Timekeeper, if you would please put 1 minute on the clock for Eddie to prepare his final statements. Remember, Eddie, the point is to fight what was left by the opposition, not just restate. You have to fight it. Okay, you have to fight it. All right, thank you very much. 1 minute on the clock. Bless you.
Is this our only speech for today?
Yeah, honey, we can only do one a day. So we have 2 more left, one Monday and Tuesday. Those things. Katie's time is 2:39. It's Jonathan's time. 2 minutes even because he said
2 minutes.
2 minutes for Jonathan. Because he had to get stopped. Okay, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a final round of applause for Eddie and welcome him as the final speaker for the debate today with a speech, again, only 2 minutes in length, Eddie, only 2 minutes. And Mr. Timekeeper also, only 2 minutes, please. All right, Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Okay, hello, I'm Eddie. I'm the Prime Minister of the government. And I'd like to thank my partner Caroline and opposite side and audience, timekeeper, and just to being here. So our debate today is students should or should not have received punishment for being tardiness. Our first point is this can teach students to be more responsible and more disciplined. And also in the workforce, you may not have received such kind of understanding situation, so it's kind of a good plan for the future. And the opposite side review with this may not be the student's fault, and you can call ahead of time to avoid this kind of punishment. And so the second point of us is teachers won't be interrupted during classes, and some students need discipline for them. And the opposite side reviewed with punishment may not be the best idea, and you can have a different way to teach them. And the third point made by us, the government side, is students cannot concentrate very well when interrupted by other students, and some students have difficulty for concentration. And they reviewed with this also be knowledgeable, and you can work better to sitting in the front. And how we review the first point of the opposition side is there is not every time for you to interrupt them like in the working force, so you're better working on yourself. And the second point, continue to be retarded working on the individuals who can refute by the we do not have every teachers for every student to look for their own problems. And the third point of them is work to concentrate better by sitting in the front. And I'm going to say it's only available seats in the front.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and give them a round of applause. Thank you very much, and let's give a round of applause to all of our debaters today. Thank you very much, and thank you, timekeeper. All right, debaters, if you